We are live at Spire Track at Spire Academy in Geneva, Ohio. The 2025 Women's Decathlon World Championships. Ten events, unlimited potential. "19 athletes from 5 countries around the globe will determine the world's greatest athletes." The world's greatest athlete. At the end of this 2-day competition, we will know who it is. Hi, I'm Phil Grove.
I'm MK Rotenberry.
And we're in Geneva, Ohio at the Spire Academy. It's a U.S. Olympic and Paralympic training center, one of the finest facilities in this part of the country for a reason. We wanted to determine in 2025 who is the world's greatest athlete in the women's decathlon. MK, a lot of factors going to play into this story and how it plays out at the end of 10 events in 2 days, but it is a long, grueling competition.
A lot of people think sprint when they think of track and field. No, this is more like the marathon of events because it is over 2 days. And if you look at the 2 days, in day one, we deal with more heptathlete level of expertise. We're going to start out with the 100-meter before the ladies move on to the long jump, shot put, high jump, and then we move back to the track in the 400-meter dash. Now, what I'm going to suggest is that the 100-meter is going to be really unique because we're going to see a lot of the talent that is the faster ladies, the more heptathletes excel at this event. But like you said, there's 10 events, so there's a lot of movement left on the board.
And day one for me, the 400 meters is going to be a determining event. Could be a swing event. It only takes just about 60 seconds for some of the top athletes gathered here. But the 400 is one of the most difficult events in track and field. It's always in the conversation when track nerds get together, the 400 hurdles, the 400 dash, and my favorite, the 800. We don't have that here today, but the 400 meters is so grueling. It is all out for one full lap, 4 left turns around this track.
You know, I'm pretty sure that the competitors are also glad it's not 800 meters, but that's only day one. You have to remember that is a half a marathon right there, and they still have half the competition left. We go into day two where we start out with the 100-meter hurdles. Believe it or not, the majority of the field, that's their strongest event. Before they go to discus, pole vault, which is really unique because most of the field does not have experience in that event, javelin, before we return to the track with the 100-meter, 1,500-meter run. And that event is an extremely long event for some of these runners.
And MK, sorry, if you're wondering how we determine the world's greatest athlete, it is all on a point schedule. Each individual event has a point scoring table. So if you run a 13-second 100-meter dash, that's going to equate to X number of points. You add those together at the end of 2 days, you have your world's greatest athlete here at the Spire track.
And so it really is a mental game as much as it is a physical game because these athletes can have one really strong moment and the next event have a really poor showing. So it's going to be interesting to see how do they manage not only the physical challenge but also the mental challenge.
And we have 19 athletes gathered here in Northeast Ohio. There are some of the competitors, again, from 5 countries around the world. Nikki Boon for the Netherlands. She went to college down at Emory University in Atlanta. She is a national champion and did it here at Spire.
You got to love having experience on the field. Now, she also is one of 10 competitors in the field making their decathlon debut. So it's going to be interesting to see how they do.
And in our second grouping, Katie Straus, also a veteran at this. Emily Swanson was one of the top finishers at this event a year ago. This is the second annual Women's World Decathlon Championship.
Katie Straus is one that I would maybe put a little highlight on because she has done not so much competitions as she has put in the practice. So I wouldn't be surprised if she makes some big jumps here today.
And our final grouping, the young lady who finished second a year ago, leading the French contingent, Roseva Benoit. She finished second again with 6,962 points in this grueling competition here at Spire.
You know that she would love to turn it into a gold medal this year, but I think something that is worth note for everybody who's new to the decathlon, the French are really the ones that are the leaders in this decathlon movement, and we have 6 of them in the field, and I just have a feeling that they are looking this as a team competition almost, with them bringing 6 of them over here to the United States. And I'm really excited to see the energy that each of these competitors bring, because it's all new and it's all unique, and it's all supposed to be just an ultimate statement as to what they can do.
Yeah, and part of the grind that you talked about in the decathlon, they had their national championships earlier this summer, so this is their second deck within a short period of time. So that's extremely important as you talk about the ability to withstand the mental and physical drain in the decathlon.
And I think whenever we go back to day 1 versus day 2, it's going to be interesting to see where that experience really comes out, because there are going to be moments where I think the athletes are going to think, do I go full throttle here, or do I not? And then maybe not do as well in some events that they would like to. They're also hoping to make the marks when they're needing to.
Let's get this started. The 100-meter dash, the first one up, the speed event, it is all in. It is start, it is drive phase, it is finish.
And I think we're up for something really good, so you better get your popcorn ready.
We're going to look at that exciting video.
The journey that is the second annual Women's Decathlon World Championships getting started at Spire. Check out lane 7, Laura Matthews from the U.S. Not the best off the line, but hits the drive phase, and she is chasing history. Looking to run one of the fastest 100 meters ever in a women's decathlon. Flashes across the line, 12.00 seconds, the best ever by an American, number 2 globally.
Phil, what a start for Matthews, with not the best start right out of the gate, but you notice she finishes extremely strong. A great start to an event that she has a strong background in.
She had run 12:04 a year ago, so she regains that number 1 spot in the U.S. Laura Matthews, one of the top American multi-eventers, and she puts it out all on the line at Spire today to get this event going. Now, section number 2. Lanes 2 through 7 filled. And you know what? I have an idea that Katie Straus is really going to rock it off the line and take control of this race.
Let's see if you're right, Phil.
All right, here we go. We are underway, and there it is. What a great start by Straus. Already a stride plus in the lead, motoring through the drive phase, headed to the finish line. In the blue and red, Katie Straus with the lean. Great run. Katie Straus picks up the win. Also a tremendous performance in the 12-second range.
She looked like she was comfortable in this race, and you saw it straight from the start to the finish line.
Again, one of the fastest groupings of 100-meter decathletes on display at Spire. Katie Straus, we're going to be talking about here throughout the weekend. Again, this is a 2-day competition, but things are off to a great start for the entire field as we head to our 3rd and final heat. The field of 6 on the line.
And you know, Phil, this event, the 100-meter dash, is in the heptathlon. There are 10 women who have never been in decathlon. They've been in various decathlons, including, if you look at number 4, Faith Ladden, I think she might be able to do something strong here.
Pay attention to the start. So crucial, nobody wants to false start. And a good start, Faith Ladden, the young lady from North Central out of Illinois, Division III, is going to hit the line with the lead.
She cruised through that. I was kind of nervous she was going to put on the brakes a little bit, but she just kept rolling and stayed in charge.
And the numbers in the women's 100 meters at Spire today in the 2nd annual Women's Decathlon World Championships, didn't start and end with Laura Matthews, but she won with 12.00 seconds, worth 952 points. Faith Ladden, 12.16 to win heat number 3. Kendra Leger from Canada, 12.19. That also worth 916 points. Nikki Boon from the Netherlands. The international flair of this event is tremendous, 12.23, 909. The top 6 all scored over 900 points in this opening event. Speed and strength, so much a part of the 100-meter dash, also part of the long jump, as Laura Matthews, the winner in record time in the 100, back into the pit in the long jumps, hits the ground at 5:56 meters.
You know, Phil, that reaction right there seems like she's comfortable. Knows that this is a marathon, not a sprint.
It is, and again, need to have a short memory. Okay, we'll put that behind us. That was a great 100, but now it's time to focus on the long jump. And Faith Ladden, again from North Central, down to runway, hits the board, a great jump. And again, some of the athletes did have difficulty getting their steps, but Faith really was dialed in on that one.
This sport is a mixture of speed meets accuracy in your physicality, understanding rhythm to get the best result.
In our international flavor coming up as Roosevelt Bedouin from France. She's been here before at Spire and safely into the pit is going to get that mark. She hit 564 metric. That's 18 feet 6 inches for those watching from the States. Jordyn Bruce next up on the runway. Again, high stepping it to the board, into the pit. And we'll see different types of approaches once the athletes are in the air. Some of them you'll see continue that running as we get a close-up of the mark. There it is.
I love to see that reaction. You know that she's starting to hit her stride when you're getting to see a smile out of her face.
She cut her teeth in the States, but Nikki Boon had tremendous success at Emory. She's from the Netherlands. On the board, into the pit. That best of 5.91 meters, 19 feet 4 3/4 inches.
She's making a splash early on. That she's someone that we need to look out for. Look at this incredible footwork. She knows her timing, spot on, really good for an heptathlete, making her decathlon debut.
She cut her teeth at Coastal Carolina and then as a graduate athlete headed to Emory down in Atlanta. Next down the runway from Canada, Leger. Up and into the pit. That's a good mark. We're going to measure that one. And she is the best at 5.93 meters. That's 19 feet 5.5 inches. That will win many collegiate long jump competitions, and she is a multi-event standout.
Look at that
Kendra
timing.
Leger.
That timing was incredible. The way that she used her legs and got all the momentum forward. That really is going to get her a few more points.
The numbers from this event and also how they add up for those important points after 2 of 10 events.
MK, we talked about the points, but one thing that we didn't focus on is we took a look at the results after those first 2 events. Again, the up and down that takes place within your standing within the field throughout this 2 days.
Yes, I specifically, because as good as math as I am, I love to see the green arrows up. That shows that there's movement going upward, whereas the red arrows going down is not the best sign for the performers. So Nikki Boon and Leger, they're moving up, and it's good to see through 2 events.
Again, we show the speed and the finesse of the 100-meter dash and the long jump. Now we're going into the power and also the finesse events. It is the shot put and the high jump coming up next in the Women's Decathlon World Championships, live from Spire.
Event number 3, day 1 of the Women's Decathlon. It's the shot put, the 4K ball, the implement of choice. That is Miranda Marr from the U.S. MK.
And you know what, Phil? I think she likes it. Look at that dance.
That dance bouncing up and down, arms raised, a new opening round PR for Miranda Marr. Next up, Nikki Boon, Emory University, and the Netherlands. deep into the sector.
She is showing off here in her first decathlon, and that upper arm strength is exactly what's on display.
And Kendra Leger from Canada next up in the 7-foot circle. Let's go.
Phil, she's the leader, and you can tell because she has the leading bib on, a special thing that they do here in the decathlon.
Corinne Brewer from Greensburg, Pennsylvania, Notre Dame and Lehigh University. She's going to PR in this one. And the leader in the shot put coming in with a best of over 14 meters, Roosevelt Bedouin from France.
Phil, she looks like she is in command, and I think part of that is she has the most experience in decathlons coming into this event, and you're seeing it on display.
She wasn't at her best today, but you can see she really wasn't shaken, just a very calm demeanor. She goes 13.07 meters, 42 feet, 10.5 inches. That gives her 732 points. Top in event number 3, Nikki Boon from the Netherlands, 1272. She is also over 41 feet, 8 3/4 inches, worth 709 points. The leaderboard after 3 events. And back in the field events for event number 4, the women's high jump, an event that Katie Straus and Laura Matthews will not soon forget.
And Phil, this is a little bit of a surprise. Not her strongest event, Matthews.
Roosevelt Bedouin from France not able to get the job done on that attempt. The top field started at 142.
You're starting to see the fatigue set in for all of these athletes as we're getting really deep into day 1.
Non-stop sun during the women's high jump competition. Again, back to Matthews. She set a record 12 flat in the women's 100, uses that speed to her benefit in the Big J.
And you can see she's just trying to keep this thing rolling.
Emily Swanson came in her first height. She needed 3 attempts to clear, went 3 jumps again, but she persevered. She finished at 163, big point 771.
I love this, bringing the crowd into it.
Katie Straus, one of the veterans in this 2-day Women's World Decathlon Championship, up and over the bar. We will call her name out last, but definitely not least. Big 879 points for her.
Can Matthews do it again, though? I don't know.
Not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 PRs for the young lady. You don't do that in the high jump. You don't do that in any event.
And that's going to be the highlight that she will take with her beyond Geneva, Ohio.
Her face in her hand, she cannot believe what she did. She goes from 159 PR to 169. Again, 4 PRs in today's women's high jump competition, sharing the love with her group.
Nothing beats celebrating with other people.
Taking the bar up to 1.72 meters or 5 feet 7 3/4 inches, not able to do it. The ball is in the court for Katie Straus, and here showing the power moves up and just over the bar.
It is so fun to watch. A lot of control over your body and pole awareness.
Again, speed and strength play major keys to success. And in the women's high jump, 879 points credited to Katie Straus with her 5.7 3/4 clearance. Laura Matthews, 842 in this great high jump competition, day 1 of the Women's World Decathlon Championships.
And boy, we've already seen lots of names, lots of faces, lots of emotion in those first 4 events, MK.
Laura Matthews, where did those performances come? That was so fun to see. You can tell that her energy level is up. It's high. Obviously, whenever you look at the leaderboard, she is one of those big movers through 4 events. But you know what? There's 6 more left.
And the one that I talked about day 1, the 400 meters. It's just 1 lap, 4 left turns, but again, it's always on the table as one of the toughest events in track and field, and it doesn't get any easier, especially when you're doing it in the middle of a 10-day competition.
Because it's so unfamiliar to these competitors, do you think that it will be where movement on the leaderboard we'll see the most?
Very possibly. I mean, even though it is all in from the start, there is some strategy. If you are strong in that final 100, you're going to save a little bit in the gas tank for that sprint for home. When you see the clock, the leader, I'm at 50 seconds and I'm only 50 meters from hitting the line, that's going to drive you those final 50 meters.
Well, that movement, as we've seen, is already happening, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens in the 400-meter dash.
Coming up, the 400 meters.
As a solo event, the 400 meters always in the conversations, the toughest in track and field, but at the end of day one of the decathlon, it can bring you to your knees. Section number 1 of the women's 400 meters at Spire Track in this year's World Decathlon Championships. And we are underway and quickly moving to the lead, making up the stagger. That is Katie Straus out in lane 7, pulls Laura Matthews with her. Those two battled just moments ago in the women's high jump. Down the back straightaway, leading the way, that is Katie Straus, then Matthews. Now coming into the picture from Canada, Kendra Legier. Straus, Matthews, Legier, also Jordyn Bruce from the U.S. Those four have separated themselves from the rest of the field in section number 1. Still leading the way, Katie Straus from the U.S. On the outside, Legier, who will get to the straightaway first. It will be Katie Straus, just by the slightest of margins, but Legier has that final gear. Kendra Legier racing to the finish line, and the most points racking it up on the clock, just over 50 seconds to the line. It is Legier hits the line first, Straus second. The times were fast. The points are going to be big in section number 1 of the women's 400 meters. Section number 2, again, it doesn't take long for the leader to make herself known. That is Nikki Boon by way of Emory University and the Netherlands, making up the staggers left and right. Running out of lane 3, already has closed the staggers on Swanson and Bourgeot and Luthi on the outside. It is Nikki Boon is not holding up. Final 200 meters for the young lady from the Netherlands. With the shades on as the shadows grow longer at Spire Track, it is Nikki Boon into the shadows, the final 100 meters, running for home. Can she dip under the time set in that hot first heat by Legier and Straus? It is solo Nikki Boon to the line. Boon also right about 57 seconds. What a run, solo effort by Nikki Boon. And finally, our third and final heat of the elite section of this year's World Championships for the women's decathlon. We are underway and pretty even through the first 50 meters with the stagger and Anik Pravidi from France. And Miranda Marr, we saw Marr perform well in the shot put, hit that opening round PR. Pravidi in front, bringing Marr with her. Down the back straightaway, it's been a full sun all day long. These athletes, the fifth and final event, the 400. And there goes Marr, putting on the jets into the turn, less than 200 meters to go. She's now up by 5 meters, adding to her lead, but not giving up. Faith Layton on the inside, the collegiate from North Central out of Illinois. Marr and Layton, the red-clad runners, headed for home in the third and final section of the women's 400 meters, event number 5, day 1. Marr gets to the line first, right about 60 seconds flat. And those were 3 incredibly talented and fast sections of the 400 meters. Again, one of the fastest and toughest events in track and field. Kendra Legier from Canada in the final 100. She comes home in 57.05, worth 822 points. Nikki Boon, 57.06, also under 58 seconds. Katie Straus, but there's only 5 points separating our top 2 competitors. Katie Straus, and MK is with Katie right now.
Your first time competing in a World Championships, and you are the leader after day 1. Take me through day 1.
Honestly, it was last year I was injured at this time, so I was just helping. So first goal was stay healthy and just after that enjoy it and remember all my cues I've been working on. So each one was just remember the basics and try to have fun with it. So long jump was unexpected. I mean, I was really feeling it. My steps were on, and it was just, it came together, and I was like, oh, 2 for 2. high jump, the energy of everybody, the crowd, and then all the other athletes really helped me just kind of get that extra energy. PR'd. I've been chasing a PR in that for years. So that was just super exciting. And then the 400 was try to enjoy it, which is really hard because it hurts so much, and get out strong, accelerate on that last curve, and then just bring it home.
5 PRs today. You're leading day 2 by 5 points.
Yeah.
Get some rest, refuel. We'll see you tomorrow.
Yes, thank you.
And when we return, we are coming back with day 2 of the Women's Decathlon World Championships.
They are halfway home, MK, but only halfway home. An important and difficult day 2, especially for those who are rookies to the decathlon.
You got to refuel and rest, and then return knowing that your first challenge is the 100-meter hurdles. Now, what's interesting about this event that's coming up is the fact that 12 of the 19 competitors in the field, this is their strongest event. Why is that?
Well, it's obviously in the heptathlon, so they've experienced that. The 100-meter hurdles is something that the hurdle height doesn't change from when they were freshmen in high school, so they can really dial in that technique and the 3 steps between hurdles.
It's going to be interesting to see how they deal with the field events, especially pole vault. You circle it in, and it's going to be, for the first timers, they may have never even touched a pole vault or thought about pole vault until a few days ago.
And right after the discus, which I know was your event back in the day, right?
You know, I tried.
All right, discus and hurdles. Hurdles up first, speed and strength and quickness between hurdles, difficult, and here they come. And we're underway. And again, the speed through the hurdles, 33 inches. You don't want to hit these. Kendra Leger from Canada, look at her blazing through these 33-inch barriers.
She just turned on the gas right there about halfway through.
13.61 seconds, that's all it took for her to cover 100 meters and 10 hurdles, 3-stepping again between the hurdles, so she's always leading with the same lead leg.
And I believe that points coming down the stretch might be a little significant.
She hits the jackpot, over 1,000 points. Heat number 2, again, a very important one. Bedouin in lane 3 on the inside. Here she comes, trying to stretch this one out over those 33-inch barriers. Again, don't want to hit those. It does slow you down. A nice lean.
It's good for her to get this event underneath her because these aren't her strongest events. Speed is not her strongest strength. However, the next 3 events, the field events, are where she will excel.
Our third and final heat encompassing this 19-participant field. We are underway, a good, clean, fair start. And again, just the competition, the grit between these athletes.
And they have the rhythm down. They know they're pacing to a T, which is going to stretch it out.
And across the line, we see that slow motion technique, and it is not slow motion in this race. The fastest time, 13:61. Many others under 15 seconds. A teammate celebrating.
Everybody's celebrating because they know, okay, we got six checked off, 4 more to go.
And you see the numbers, 13:61 all the way through about 5 deep, under 15 seconds.
And I love that you see Rosova right there in point 2, moving up. She's loving that too after day one's performance.
Now the discus. Again, this is balance, this is technique, this is release, and I know you've talked about that before, MK.
When people think about a release with a discus, you want to think about how a basketball comes off of your fingers when you do a free throw. It's that same feeling. It just rolls right off with the rhythm.
And with that scream, Bidwa shows the brute force that is also part of this event. The whip that your body goes through as you're letting go of that discus.
She knows she's going against some performers that do well in field events, and she wants to be right up there.
So again, the veteran from France, very good in this event. There she comes, 43.69 meters. Nikki Boon from the Netherlands, also that foreign flavor, 41.11. Both of those ladies over 40 meters, and that boosts them up to the top of the point standings.
You're noticing with Boon and Bedoy, the upper strength is really showing off here as of late. They have two more with the pole vault and the javelin throw before they go back to running. It's going to see how many points they can gather to extend that lead, or at least stay up on top of the leaderboard.
And again, you talked about the pole vault. That's coming up next after this 2-minute break. What's great about athletics, MK, you just said it off camera, anything can happen. And this is an event where a lot of things happen today.
This is where the drama happens, I think, because we don't get to see pole vault very often.
And again, we'll see a variety of techniques in the pole vault, strength and speed. If you have speed, that's great. If you also are strong, that is a fantastic combination that's going to get you a lot of points in this event.
Nikki Boon is showing impressive numbers early on for not having touched a pole vault in a few weeks.
Boy, I mean, she's never pole vaulted in competition before. So again, this is a heptathlete. Those 7 events, it doesn't include the pole vault. There she is. You see her bar work as she really started to transition to going over with the front of her body close to the bar.
That's exactly a statement that says, no matter if I haven't done it, I can do it.
And we're seeing Katie Straus here. She talked about enjoying the 400. Nikki Boon was enjoying that last vault. And there is Straus up and over. The pole vault competition started at 1.80 meters, and they went up 10 centimeters at a time, MK. Corinne Brewer right now, she is a vaulter going back to her high school days, and she's still doing it now and doing it well. One of the biggest clearances of the day.
You notice that tape on his shoulder. She's nursing an injury, so she didn't start till later in the competition, but clearly she jumped right in.
And a young lady that gutted it out all the way through the pole vault competition, Roosevelt Boudoir from France. She had a number of third attempt clearances, and that one, the vault is a very dangerous event at times. She was able to handle when things lost control.
I think that may have gotten her heart rate up a little bit suddenly.
And the pit or the landing area has been expanded because as the heights go higher, the opportunity for difficulty, disaster, and injury. But she comes back right after it. Next attempt, look at this. Over the bar she goes, and she's celebrating.
That is mental strength right there, if I've ever seen anything. To be able to go where you are having a dangerous situation and then turn around and clear the pole just as she did, it's very impressive.
Yeah, she got her senses knocked around a little bit with that bad miss, and now she is back and up and over the bar.
I love it whenever she gets right over the pole. She knows directly she threw the pole long enough where it wasn't going to be a factor.
Again, Katie Straus at this time was going jump for jump with Boudoir, and there she comes up and over, matches that height as they moved up through 3+ meters.
And she hit PRs in this event.
And again, meeting with the coaches, this is an event that this is very important. Another look from up above the bar as it moved up to 3.50 meters, or 11 feet 5 3/4 inches.
Phil, you got to figure that these athletes know that just those little inches of centimeters are making the point difference that they're going to see going into the 4th event with Javelin.
And we talked about Corinne Brewer, 3.60 meters. She was the one with the most pole vault experience. No surprise that she has the top height. In the other pit, we also had Madison Luthi at 3.60 meters. And thereafter 8 events, 61.70 is the number on the board for Roosevelt Boudoir.
And you know, Roosevelt is just so excited to be on top going into the final 2 events of the competition, because she has powerful upper arm strength. But the 15 meter is not her best event. So it's going to be interesting to see how can she manage the strength aspect in the next event, take the most advantage of it, while also knowing that she's going to have to still perform on maybe one of the most difficult challenges of the competition.
Yeah, again, the pole vault is that segment, as you talked about, for those heptathletes especially who haven't been in the decathlon before. That is to get through that. They're 2/3 of the way through. The javelin is next. Again, another strength and highly technical event in day 2 of the decathlon.
And I love it. We got to see Nikki Boon and her reaction at the pole vault. Just pure joy knowing that she got through it.
And Faith Layden just unleashed one in the opening round. Katie Straus again up near the top of the leaderboard. This is so critical. They each get 3 throws, 3 attempts down the runway, focusing on that technique. Jordyn Bruce, a veteran decathlete.
Remember, this is the last field event before they can head back to the track.
Roosevelt Bedouin. And if you're at around 40 meters, that is just a place to be, as Nikki Boon from the Netherlands lets one go, and she is happy with the effort. But Faith Layton, 42.04 meters in that opening round effort. She put it all in. Jordyn Bruce, not too far behind, very importantly, moves her up the rankings.
You got to figure that Faith Layton is really excited to have that performance underneath her, having this be her first decathlon.
So, headed to commercial. We'll be back 2 more minutes as we get closer to the 1,500 meters. It is all coming down to the middle distance gem on the track, the 1,500 meters, 3 3/4 laps around this track, taking those left-hand turns. And folks, we are down to the nitty-gritty, and we have such a close battle at the top. The top 3 athletes separated by just a handful of seconds in this event. I talked earlier about distances and times equal points. Right now, there are 42 points between first and second place, and that equates to about 7 seconds on the track. So if Roosevelt Bedouin is able to finish closer than that, she could step past Nikki Boon. And then Katie Straus is just another 15 seconds back. We will see how this all plays out. The 1,500 meters closing up today's Women's World Decathlon Championships at Spire. And we're underway. It's a clean start. All the runners, all 19, out on the oval. And we quickly see Corinne Brewer from the U.S., an established distance runner in high school, taking the lead and setting the pace. Athletes are going to come home right about 5 minutes. Brewer has run under that. As you see Giselle Bourgois from Mexico in the number 2 position, then Delaney Straus in 3rd, but we need to look back in the field. We see Leger in the number 5 spot, but all focusing on Nikki Boon and Roosevelt Bedouin. There are leaders. Brewer through the first 300 meters as she is going to go through in about 53 seconds. That's about a 70-second opening quarter. And there's the rest of the field looking back through. I see Nikki Boon coming up, and with Katie Straus right behind her, on her heels, less than a second separating. 2 of those top 3 headed toward the podium in today's Women's Decathlon World Championships at Spire. Once again, out front, Corinne Brewer. Started out her collegiate career at Notre Dame, now representing Lehigh University in Eastern Pennsylvania. Bourgois from Mexico, and then about 20 meters of open track back to Delaney Straus in 3rd. You see on the clock about 90 seconds in, so we're almost 1/3 of the way through this event, coming up on the 600-meter down mark, 900 to go, 2 laps plus a 100-meter straightaway. It is Brewer in the lead, starting to add to that advantage. No surprise at all that Corinne Brewer, she's going to pick up a lot of points in this final event, the 1,500 meters. Coming up on the 2-minute mark, she's about 40% of her way through this event. She has really started to stretch things out. Corinne Brewer did well in the pole vault. How good can she do on the point board in the 1,500? Looking back through the field, there's Bourgois, and then Delaney Straus. And then it looked like Jordyn Bruce in the number 4 position. Luthi in 5th. Then Katie Straus, one of our top 3. And then Nikki Boon right behind her about 10 meters. Corinne Brewer, 2 full laps in the books at 2:30. 2 minutes and 30 seconds. She is about 2:15 from home, running a great race today. You see that big gap between first and second. It is Corinne Brewer. Into the far turn, she just has 600 meters from home in the finish of the 1,500 and this 2-day journey to determine the world's greatest athlete, the Women's Decathlon World Championships in August of 2025. Again, Corinne Brewer looking strong with 500 meters to go. A half of a kilometer. She takes a quick look over her left shoulder back at the field. She doesn't have a challenger right now. It's just her against the clock to accumulate those points. Corinne Brewer. Again, the focus. Nikki Boon has about a 7-second advantage over Roosevelt Boudoir. Katie Straus another 15 back. They have the bell. Final lap. Bourgois in second. Delaney Straus in third. Then Jordyn Bruce. And now we see Katie Straus and Nikki Boon side by side coming up the main straightaway. They're going to be locked in battle. This could determine the world's greatest athlete as Corinne Brewer. She is going to be the best at 1,500 today. Can she get close to 800 or 900 points? We will soon find out. Brewer, final 200 meters, half of a lap to go at the Spire track. There is a gap between second and third. Bourgois from Mexico and Delaney Straus from the U.S. Brewer, final 100 meters. It doesn't sound like much, but it's going to hurt. The final straightaway in the 1,500 meters. She is going to be under 5 minutes today in her final event. Corinne Brewer has run under 5 before. She will do it again today to close out her decathlon. What a great effort. Delaney Straus will get in second as Brewer's time 4:52.27. Bourgois gutting it out for third. Straus comes home in 5:01.62, but now the important gaps between the athletes. Nikki Boon, here she comes with the shades on, driving for home. She's got about 15 meters on the track. It's going to be Boon, then Straus, and where is Roosevelt Boudoir? As Nikki Boon is destined to be the world's greatest athlete. As Boon's time 5:17.70. Straus at 5:20.36. As the strain of 1,500 meters at the end of 2 days of excruciating, both mentally and physically, competition, there is Boudoir. This one was going to be a tough event for her as her personal best was about 5 minutes and 47 seconds. So Nikki Boon did what she needed to do. There is our winner in this event, Corinne Brewer. Again, going under 5 minutes, the only athlete in the women's field today to go under 5 minutes for the 1,500 meters. That is a great accomplishment as competitors congratulating each other. And soon we will be congratulating Nikki Boon from the Netherlands and Emery down in Atlanta. She was here earlier in the year to celebrate an NCAA D3 national championship. In the heptathlon, she adds 3 events. And she came through with solid performances in the pole vault, the discus, and the javelin on day 2. She kept moving her way to the top of the leaderboard. Coming into the final event with 6,738 points, up by 42. Nikki Boon, the world's greatest athlete here today in mid-August at Spire. Wow, what a great run. And no surprise, we saw Corinne Brewer take the lead, go out, push the pace. But as again, it was where were those top 3? Where was Boon? Where was Boudoir? And where was Katie Straus? Just there is MK with world's greatest athlete, Nikki Boon.
Nikki, you are now the world's greatest athlete. How does that sound?
Absolutely amazing. Kind of like a dream. So, yeah.
And it's in your first event. How are you able to make such a statement in this field of athletes?
I don't know. I mean, the real key to like any multi is just taking one event as they come. And, you know, I think I did a really good job for my first deck with that. It's also, you know, these ladies are so talented that they make it easy. You kind of feed off each other's energy. They're so supportive, and it's honestly just amazing to be surrounded by so many great athletes.
Now, the big question is, this is your first time being in a decathlon. It's your first time winning it. How are you going to celebrate?
Probably call my parents at some point. They might be watching in the Netherlands right now. It's a little bit of a time difference, so you guys can go to bed now if you're watching. I love you. Thank you so much for supporting me. Probably go out to dinner with my coach. She's been absolutely amazing. I'm so thankful to have her and for her to come out postseason with me and be here with me through everything. So yeah.
Well, much deserved. Well, congrats
Thank you.
to the world's greatest athlete, Nikki Boon. Phil?
All right, so again, the ebb and flow in a two-day decathlon is tremendous. It is highs, it is lows, and Nikki, the world's greatest athlete, talked about just sort of keeping an even keel. So Nikki Boon ends with 7,451 points. Katie Straus in second, 7,301. Jordyn Bruce, 7,272. And not to forget about Roseva Bidouin. She was second a year ago. She finishes fourth this time, 7,227. But again, the competition was fantastic. Mother Nature played her part. But again, the over 1,000 points in an individual event, that was just a great achievement from Kendra Legier in the 100-meter hurdles to start day two. So the big momentum from day one really kept moving along. It was like a runaway freight train in a positive way. It just kept going. The spectators, the teams, and the coaches to support these athletes was all in for 2 straight days, as we see Nikki Boon finally getting the opportunity maybe to fully celebrate what she has done. And for the second time this year, she is a champion at Spire, winning the NCAA D3 National Championship at 7 events. She adds 3 more, and now she is the world's greatest athlete, winning today's World Decathlon Championship. MK, what do you think about these last 2 days?
I am absolutely taken away by how athletic these 19 women have been. The fact that they could not only excel at such a high performance in each event, but finish 10 excruciating challenges and do it in a fashion where they're all celebrating each other because they know just how challenging it is. It's really fascinating. And I hope everybody at home that's watching understands just the difficulty that they just experienced and that they excelled at.
So the second Women's Decathlon World Championships here at Spire in Northeast Ohio was just a tremendous success on all levels. As again, we see the athletes, again, finally just sort of like a track party, as Nikki Boon, there she is, the winner of the 2025 Women's Decathlon World Champion, and titled now the world's greatest athlete. What a 2-day period. Again, 7,451 points for that young lady. And I'm certain rest and recovery will be in order for all 19 athletes. There they are, gold, silver, and bronze at this year's Women's Decathlon World Championships. And just a tremendous 2 days at a tremendous facility here at Spire in Northeast Ohio. But Boon from the Netherlands comes through, the USA, Katie Straus and Jordyn Bruce on the podium as well in second and third. And Boon was able just to stretch it out in that final 1,500. And again, it's not easy to do. Many things have happened in the 1,500. People have gone from leading to second or third, and for her to hold everything together, the pressure was on her, and she came through in a big way. Nikki Boon, again, 7,451 points to win today's Women's Decathlon World Championship. There's a group pose. You got to love that group photo with all these athletes. Again, each in their own ways had celebrations to look back on over these 10 events and 2 days. And I'm certain they will cherish this trip to Geneva, Ohio, and maybe look forward to coming back in 2026 to celebrate the diversity and the excellence of women athletes. This is the Women's Decathlon World Championships of 2025. The great place to be, Geneva, Ohio, and the great place to be, the Netherlands, because you have crowned the world's greatest athlete, your own Nikki Boon. There she is.